Thank you, students. Ladies and gentlemen, the next segment will give you a snapshot of what our students were up to at today's conference. We have with us 3 groups of students keen to share their thoughts with us. They will be presenting on the topics they discussed earlier during the breakout sessions. To lead the session, we have with us our lead facilitator for today. Mr. Farid, please.
I was the chief facilitator for the breakout sessions just now, and we are about to experience the presentation or the sharing from 3 representatives from 3 groups. There were 38 groups, and to share a bit about what they talked about. And from a chief facilitator point of view, I had the privilege of actually going from group to group, and I just want to summarize my observations. Right? So, Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when you put a diverse range of students together, and some of them have never been in such a diverse group. So what am I talking about, diversity here? We're talking about age diversity. So there was Sec 1 or 13-year-old students, and then we had 19-year-old students, and all the way through upper Sec, lower Sec, JC, ITE, Polytechnic, you know. And that was a diversity there. And there were different life experiences. We had students who are from different ethnic backgrounds. Yeah, we had students who were not born in Singapore, who just arrived in Singapore. We have students from neighborhood schools. We have students from mission schools, from ITE and from polytechnics. And guess what? We also have students from different streams. So we had students from normal tech, normal academic, from express and gifted stream students in the same group. Gender, of course. And what I found was that we focused not on making it a social studies or a general paper, a GP type session. There was a lot of effort to try and create a safe space so stories and personal narratives could be shared, and that's not an easy thing to do. But in that short time, there was such an intense sharing. We celebrated aspects of life in Singapore, the diversity in Singapore that gave us joy, and we were made aware of gaps that we still need to work on. And so our participants were really courageous, they were really sensitive, and they were able to trust one another with the stories. Now, with the invitation for that to happen, then the participants actually started to make some analysis or some conclusions on what does this say about the topic, right? So the topic was not just discussed as if it was an interesting essay, but there was meat, there was some tears even. Yeah, and there was some people who shared a lot of anger, and that made the conversations and the sharing very real. And you'll listen to some of that. Some of the stories were very touching. It was about students being left behind and people assumed that they couldn't catch up in their studies because they're stupid, you know. And then they discovered a disability, you know, and nobody actually thought of that. Or students who were different or not so good looking even. It's not just about race, and they were ostracized. And then when they discovered this particular student was good in maths, everybody wanted her in the group. You know, so this was able to be discussed at the level of maybe new migrants to Singapore. What does that say about stereotypes and our biases? And to hear a 13-year-old, to hear a 15-year-old, to hear someone from ITE or Polytechnic share views was very, very satisfying and meaningful for me. So it was not just confined to race. There was religion in there a little bit. There was socioeconomic class, academic ability, and the maturity and the honesty and the ability to think outside the box in just 2 hours was very, very touching from the point of view of a lead facilitator, and some facilitators are out there here today. So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present one at a time the groups who are going to share a little bit about what went on in their particular discussion, and they'll have 5 minutes, and then I'll introduce the next group. So can we welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the first group from that's doing question 1. Can we give them a round of applause?
Okay, hi guys. How's your day today? How's your day so far? Okay. So this is our group. After much torture from our facilitator Rahman, we have come up a presentation about racial harmony, and this is my group, consisting of Jasim, Ayu, and Faris, and me, Nian Kai. Okay, so first and foremost, we have the first question posed to us is, what does racial harmony mean to us? Okay, so basically, it means that all of the different races, people of different races, culture, and religions come together in order to live well in Singapore. And we should live in a country that is like Singaporean to Singapore, and there shouldn't be any dominant race, which is like Indian Singapore or Chinese Singapore and this kind of stuff. And secondly, we should have a deeper understanding of various cultures and races, instead of like having a superficial acceptance of each and every one of us. For example, we celebrate racial harmony in our school, and we should go further beyond like trying different food and wearing different costumes to school. And the last but not least, we should tolerate and accept one another in order for us to maintain in a peaceful and stable society in Singapore. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, the next question I'm going to talk about is, do new citizens affect the racial and religious harmony of Singapore? The answer that my group came out with this question is that we can say yes or no to this question. So we chose that it should be neutral. How can we say that, yes, new citizens do affect our harmonious living in Singapore? Sometimes new citizens might affect our harmonious living as there is very little understanding between us and them. This problem can be solved by having more interactions with the new citizens and us. We also can say no. These new citizens actually help us and do not affect our racial and religious harmony, because some of them come to Singapore for our beautiful diversity of our culture. They actually do research on Singapore and realize that we are a safe and green place to live in. So they help us and make a better, harmonious place to live in, and that is how we can say no. But the biggest question that I want to ask you guys is, can this racial harmonious living in Singapore still continue? Next.
Racial harmony does not come easy. Racial harmony does not come easy. People who live and play together can still turn against each other one day. During my discussion just now, I saw a video of racial riot. The different groups had worked, played, and lived with each other for many years. But one incident caused the racial riot. In Singapore, we cannot take racial harmony for granted. We must appreciate and understand other races and culture. And we can start from young in school. Thank you.
Our plans and visions for Singapore, equal rights among others and cultures, leading to no racial riots and unnecessary arguments, peace and harmony, achieving the motto,
One people,
one nation, and one Singapore. Singapore boleh!